How long has it been since you've been able to lie down on your side and get a good night of sleep without shoulder pain? Drop me a comment down below and then watch through to the end of this video because we're going to talk about 3 main exercises that are going to help you restore function and comfort to your shoulder so you don't have shoulder pain at night when you sleep. Also, big thanks to Jen B for asking this fantastic question. Jen, I hope you find this helpful, and if you're not Jen, I still hope you find this video helpful. Everything you're going to see in this video is based on my own personal experience with shoulder pain when sleeping at night. This right shoulder used to be terrible at night, but I have since fixed it after many years of struggle, and I'm going to share everything I think will help you. And if you do have chronic, recurring, stubborn shoulder pain, I encourage you to check out the Shoulder Fix program. It's on my website at uprighthealth.com/shoulders. Link will be down below. All right, let's get to the first exercise. So these first 2 exercises, I'm assuming you don't have much in the way of equipment. So you don't need a bench, you don't need this special foam box. You can just use your sofa, an ottoman, or a chair. You're gonna do an exercise called the reverse fly. So you're gonna be bending over, supporting yourself on your chair or whatever. Your arm is gonna go out to the side like this. And you're just gonna lift as far as you can without activating these muscles up here. You're trying to activate the muscles of the back of your shoulder and between your shoulder blades. So you're here, you're coming out to the side like this. Viewed from the side, you wanna make sure that your spine is staying neutral. So if you have weak shoulder muscles, you might start doing funny things like this. You're gonna see your shoulder blade hike up towards your ear, your spine might curve. You wanna keep all of that under control, and you're just firing the muscles of the back of the shoulder and right here, medial to the shoulder blade. Oh yeah, I just can't quite get it. Oh yeah. The reason we're doing this is because your posterior shoulder muscles are probably really atrophied and atrophy aches. In addition, if you don't have strong muscles back here, guess what happens to the arm bone? It's all loosey-goosey, and when you lie down on your side, you have all your body's pressure pushing the humerus, your upper arm bone, forward, and there's gonna be some limit to what is gonna be comfortable. If you have more meat back here that holds this in place, it's gonna feel a whole lot more comfortable. Now you may be saying to yourself, I exercise all the time, the back of my shoulder should be fine. And my response to you is, do you do anything like this? If not, then the backs of your shoulders are weak. And if you want them to get stronger, you're gonna have to do exercises that force them to work. So I suggest you do this, and you can do it on just the side that hurts for now, but you should really do it on both sides if you wanna stay balanced and you want both shoulders to feel good for the long run. If you want to get even stronger for the long run, start adding some resistance. You can start off with something simple like a water bottle, and if you decide that your body is worth the investment, you might want to get yourself some light dumbbells and then some heavier dumbbells over time to build up strength in your shoulders and also in the rest of your body. Whew, what a workout. This exercise may look pretty easy, but if you've never done anything for your posterior shoulders, get ready to be humbled. Notice also with hand position, I've got my thumb still pointing down, the bottle cap is still pointing down. You can experiment in the future with having the thumb parallel to the floor or even having the thumb pointing up. You might find that something specific about your shoulder may like that better, but I suggest you start first with the thumb pointing down to really focus on getting the rear delts. And if for some reason being bent over and supporting yourself with one arm doesn't feel good, maybe you have vertigo or something like that, there are 2 regressions you can try. One is super simple with zero equipment, where you're just standing here and then you're pinching your shoulder blades together. Again, you're not shrugging up, you're just pinching the shoulder blades together in the back and relaxing together in the back and relaxing. So you're using your rhomboids and your middle traps to create scapular retraction. From the front view, it just looks like this. It's like, what's up? What's up now? What's up now? I got stronger shoulders, that's what's up now, right? So you're just pulling your shoulder blades open like that. If you want to get the full benefit of the exercise that we did bent over, you're going to need to have some sort of resistance coming from in front of you. So using exercise bands or a cable machine would be a good way to do it. You would just need to have a solid anchor point and a band or cable, and then you're going to be pulling back like this. You can play around with the anchor point height, but the idea here is the exact same thing as what we did when we were bent over. You'll notice that the thumb still has that same orientation when I'm doing it right now. Again, you can feel free to play with that in the future, but I really suggest you first start with that thumb in this orientation. Depending on your setup and how impatient you are, you could do both sides at the same time, but I really suggest you do one side at a time right now so you can really learn the differences between your two sides and really focus on getting things nice and balanced. But if you're really impatient, yes, you can do two sides at once, but seriously, just do one side at a time. The next exercise is called bent over happy cat or one-armed goalpost or cactus arms or whatever. It's really just external rotation of the shoulder. So we're gonna be bent over. You're gonna have your elbow out to the side. Your hand's gonna be here, and then you're going to boop, like that. Okay, so we're just rotating, getting to that top position, hanging out there a little bit, and coming back. So I'm bent over, my spine's not doing anything. I'm just moving the arm like this, so we're getting external rotation at the shoulder. That's firing your infraspinatus, that's making it work, that's firing your teres minor, making it work to create that external rotation. You wanna hold on to a little bit of weight, like a little water bottle, to give your muscles a little more of a wake-up call. Hold it up at the top. When you feel ready, you can use a little bit of a heavier weight than just a water bottle. I wouldn't suggest starting with like 5 or 10 pounds. Start with something like 1 or 2 pounds and then gradually build it up. These muscles are generally not gonna be that strong unless you're a genetic freak. You're not gonna be able to just grab a 10-pound weight and do this really easily. Okay, let me show you the back view since that's what you're here for. You're just here, bent over, supporting yourself the same way we were, and coming up to that top position and back down. You're gonna do sets of around 10 to 20. We're looking for a higher rep range. Don't use a weight where you're like muscling it and trying to get 3. That's a really good way to injure your shoulder. Use a light weight if you're using any weight at all. And when you can get to 20 repetitions pretty easily, feel free to bump up the weight a little bit. And again, if you have any trouble being in that bent over position, you can use cables or bands to replicate it. So you could just be standing, have that band coming from an anchor point, and you're just doing that same happy cat rotation. Again, I would suggest doing this one arm at a time, but if you're a little, what's the word, super duper impatient like me, then yeah, you could do it 2 hands at a time, but I really don't think this is as good. It's a great idea, especially if you have one shoulder that is more painful than the other one or weaker than the other one, to do this one arm at a time so you can really feel the difference. If you're going 2 hands at a time, you can really cheat and hide that weakness from yourself. Let's say my right one is the weak one, since historically that's definitely been the case. I go into it and I hit a sticking point. Well, I can use this other side to do it a little bit faster, a little bit harder, so this right side doesn't have to do as much. And then I'm fooling both my shoulders and myself, and then nobody wins. So just do it one arm at a time, okay? Deal? Okay, deal. And this third exercise is going to be a lot easier if you have a dumbbell handy, so I strongly encourage you at some point to invest in some adjustable dumbbells for your home, or get a gym membership at a gym that has a reasonable cost that you can afford, because it's going to be totally worth it for you to have access to weight, because weights are what make you stronger. All right, so you're going to be here. You're going to be in that same bent over position, and we're going to be lifting the elbow up and out to the side like this. So if you view this from the top, my arm is coming out to the side. There's roughly a 90-degree angle between my humerus, the arm bone, and my body. So I'm going here like that. I'm gonna go nice and slow and controlled. I'm pulling that shoulder blade back. I'm lifting the elbow high. What I'm not doing is using these muscles. So as I pull, I'm not going up towards my ear. I'm trying to keep that whole area calm. I'm trying to keep my spine stable and neutral. I'm not curling it. I'm not super arching it unintentionally. We're just going nice and slow and controlled with roughly a 90-degree angle between my torso and my arm. Just going here and there, okay? What are we doing here? We're strengthening those muscles in the back of the shoulder again. Also, you might be wondering why I'm not just doing this. This is a good exercise. I'm not saying this is a bad exercise, and when you buy those adjustable dumbbells or you go to the gym, you can do this, absolutely. But if we're trying to be really time efficient, I'm gonna be trying to get you to strengthen that rear delt as much as possible. And this position means your lat the latissimus dorsus, this big fan muscle that comes all the way up to the front of your arm. Your lat contributes to shoulder extension, doing this motion, especially when the arm is next to the body. That's going to strengthen the lat, and then the lat can actually pull the humerus forward, which is what we're trying to not do since you're sleeping and having trouble with pain in your shoulder already. It's shifting forward, we're trying to shift back. So this keeps the lat out of it, or more out of it, and gets the posterior shoulder muscles a little more isolated to work to help keep that shoulder joint in the right spot. So when you go to sleep, you've got these nice strong posterior shoulder muscles pulling the humerus into place. Everything feels good and you're just sleeping like a baby. And if you don't want to be bent over, again, you could use bands or a cable and just be pulling that same way, keeping this angle nice and open and making sure that you're not using your upper traps or your levator to crunch off like this, because this is not right. This is just not right. It doesn't feel right, just don't do this. And again, because this is a slightly awkward angle where you're using small shoulder muscles, I suggest you stick to using light weights. When you start off with something like 1 to 2 to 5 pounds, and as you increase the weight, make it small jumps, maybe 1 or 2 to maybe 5 pounds at a time, depending on how big you are and your genetics. But be conservative, because these tiny muscles, you can hurt if you strain them, and that's not going to make sleeping any better. In terms of when to bump up the weight, if you can do 3 sets of 15 to 20 of these with really no trouble at all, then you can definitely bump up the weight by some increment that feels reasonable to you. If you bump up the weight and you feel like, oh man, and you can't even do 5, you bumped it up too far. The key here is to just listen to your body. If it feels like it's too much struggle and strain, it's probably too high. You want to be gradually increasing the challenge so that your body can safely acclimate to it. So when you're thinking about shoulder pain while sleeping on your side, it's important to ATM, always think muscles. Sure, you might be getting older, sure, your bones might be getting a little more brittle, but remember that muscles are responsible for movement. They're responsible for positioning. They are responsible for your comfort on a moment-by-moment basis. So make sure your muscles are strong enough to help you sleep well. With all the exercises I've shown you, you might be now wondering, how often should I do these? The answer is, for the first 2 exercises, I would suggest doing them every other day, and you can do them every day if it feels like it's right for your body. But when you first start, remember that slow is safe and fast is foolish. So start off with every other day. Just get those muscles used to actually doing a little bit of work. And if it feels fine with that pace, then just stick to that pace. If it feels like, maybe I'd feel a lot stronger doing this a little more, you can absolutely do that. With the last exercise, I suggest doing it twice a week with days of rest in between, so that might be Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Saturday. Make sure you're using a weight that is of a moderate challenge. You don't want to use one that's just so light and easy that you could probably do it all day. You want to use something that actually says, hey muscles, wake up, I want you to actually get stronger. And on that note, as you increase the resistance level with all of these exercises, make sure you listen to your body. Because right now, if you're starting off at 0 and you're doing exercises number 1 and 2 with no weight, and you're doing them every day and that's helping things feel good, once you start adding weight, you might need to reduce the frequency. So if on exercise 1 and 2, you start using bands or cables, or you start even using 5, 10-pound dumbbells to do them, then you're really gonna wanna consider what your body can recover from. Right now, with body weight, easy peasy, but with 5 or 10 pounds, you might need to move to the same schedule as what you're doing with the dumbbell row. It's all about adjusting for what your body can recover from. So again, with exercises 1 and 2, you can probably get away with every single day right now, but once you start adding weight, you might need to dial it back. And when you're doing the weighted dumbbell row with the wide arm position, you're probably going to want to be careful right off the bat and only do that twice a week. Fixing your shoulder pain while sleeping is going to be a process. You're going to learn, you're going to make some mistakes, you're going to feel uncomfortable sometimes as your muscles get sore from all the new work. Just remember that over time, this is going to result in a stronger body overall, and it's going to result in more resilience over time. You should be conservative when you start, but make sure that when you start to feel a little more confident that you start using more weight to train those muscles to get stronger so that you get the real benefit of being a stronger human. You're gonna be able to move better and sleep better. I hope this video helps you solve your shoulder pain while sleeping on your side at night, and when it does, please hit the like button and drop me a comment down below to let me know of your success. And if you have some stubborn chronic shoulder issues, be sure to check out the Shoulder Fix program on my website, and I will have a link down below as well. Hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, I hope you remember that pain sucks, life shouldn't.